All last week, I can't believe how almost blind I was to what was happening in Charlottesville. I, I just, I just didn't even understand that it was even happening. And when I dove into it and I dug through it, I'm realizing now that this is just the beginning of what's happening. This is the outworking of a reality that we are letting the lights go out in America. And what I mean by that is so many people call America a nation of laws. There's book upon book written about how America's a nation of laws. Martin Luther King himself said, "I can't tell whether a law is just or not without a higher law above it." I can't understand how I can even tell you when Congress passes a law, how do you know it's just or not? By what law are you functioning then? You see, there's an order in the world, and I think we're forgetting the order. And I really like this analogy. If you plant a tree, what is the first thing that you have to do before you plant the tree? You got to make sure that the soil itself is rich and it's worthy enough to hold the structure of the tree itself. You see, America, like a tree, has a root structure of laws, a constitution, right? Perhaps the leadership is maybe the trunk, and then the outworkings of culture is everything else. But at the end of the day, it's the soil that even holds the thing up. It's the soil that allows it to grow. And I don't even think we can name what the soil is we're living in anymore. I think what we've done is we've completely just gotten rid of the soil and just said, well, we'll just let a tree stand on its own. I don't even think we know what we're doing anymore. I think we're rioting just to take someone down with no plan afterwards. We've become a nation of reactionaries. We become a nation that's like a thermometer. The minute the temperature goes up, we freak out and just react to it. But when you have a rich soil, we can set temperature. We can set temperature and we can have an understandable and meaningful discussion between people that we are diametrically opposed to. It's only that soil that allows us to do that. If you think something is wrong with the world, wrong with the nation, by what standard are you actually living by? Because you're living by a law. You're living by some kind of law. What's the higher law that you're discerning between what is right and what is wrong? Because what's going on in Charlottesville, on either side, is wrong. And how do I know it's wrong? Because it's in direct violation of the moral law that I hold. That's the only way I could tell the difference. Otherwise, I'd have to pick a side. I'd have to choose left or right. I'd have to choose alt-right or Antifa. I'd have to choose one of these things, but I don't, because they're both wrong. They're both wrong. And the only way I know that is because I have a whole and rich soil. Now, you might not believe this or not, but the laws that this nation were founded on a majority of political citizens majority of them were well trained in theology. They were well trained in Christian theology. They had a moral law that was above all of these things, and it infused itself into the laws. That's why America did not mess up religious freedom. How do you think we got the right for women to vote? How do you think we got the right for African Americans to vote? How do you think we got the Emancipation Proclamation and everything else that's come that we messed up in the beginning? It's all because we got religious freedom correct. And on what soil did we build all that from? The lights are going out. We are planting trees with no soil. We are literally chasing vapor. There's no cause here. There's no cause. There's just violence and chaos. What's the cause that you have? And the biggest thing is, it's not really what's all the evil that's kind of functioning around us. You shouldn't be worried about that. What you should be worried about is the evil in your own heart. And if we each of us deal with the evil in our own heart, the outworking of that is both two relationships. One is vertical, that we respect and love a God that cares for us and provides for us, and then we also love each other. See, the answers aren't hard. They're just hard to accept. They're not really hard to find at all. They're just hard to accept. Charlottesville is just the beginning. unless we can start to come together and understand that we need a rich moral soil to build our nation on, that we need lawmakers that live by the truth and nothing but the truth, an uncompromising form of leadership. We need leaders in this country who do not waver. There's no existential confusion. They just know what the highest moral law is, and then they spend time in the details, making sure it doesn't violate that, and they move forward with those laws. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where you're at on the political spectrum. I don't know where you're at in your own life, or if you even care about some of these issues, and some of you might be deeply disturbed by what's going on, but I'm telling you right now, until we can have discussions about the rich moral soil, the very foundation that we are basing our decisions on, we will not be able to heal from this. We will not be able to. Because all we'll be doing is shouting at the wind. We're going to be yelling at each other with no understanding, because there's no thing that binds us together above the argument. It's just, I'm right, no, I'm right, no, I'm right, no, I'm right. Wait, what rises above the argument? There needs to be a law above that. That's why Martin Luther King said, how do I even know a law is just without a higher law to tell me so? We need to start understanding that there's an order to the world. Otherwise, you're going to pick a side, and I'm going to pick a side, and it'll just be Montague Capulet killing each other in the streets. We need to start understanding that it's a rich moral soil, a moral law that allows us to have a good debate about these issues. I pray that we all examine what's in our own hearts, so that when we do come face to face with someone who has a diametrically opposed view as us, that we can respond with gentleness and kindness, but also respond with truth and have conviction in the fact that when they say something that's not correct, that we can say, you know, I don't agree with you. Let's talk about it. Because violence is always and has always been a short-term solution. It's always been a short-term solution. All wars should be fast. Any war, any kind of destruction like this should be quick, fast, so we can get to the healing that needs to go on. A dragged out conflict, a slow bleed, just leads to a complete and utter destruction. I want to thank you for watching. I want to just pray for all the families of people who have been hurt, businesses that have been stolen from and violated, families who feel like they can't go outside. I want to pray for a community, the communities all over the country where there's been riots, where people are hurting and people don't understand what's going on. And I'm telling you right now, the reason we don't know what's going on is because we have forgotten the moral soil on which we can have civil debate. I hope everything here doesn't have you turning away from this debate. I hope you get engaged, and I hope you try to simply understand the person that is on the opposite end of what you believe. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you disagree with me, leave a comment down below, because I want to talk about it. I don't want to yell about it. I want to talk about it. So let's talk about it so we can finally bridge the gap, because right now we are destroying all bridges, and we're just going to be on islands and mad at each other all the time. Thank you for watching, and God bless you. Take care. Bye.